Good morning, friends. Sorry about the late start. We're having some technical difficulties this morning. Hopefully, we've got it all straightened out now. Let's see, we will go ahead and get started with our story today, friends. So we will be reading one of my favorites, The Great Kapok Tree. So get ready to see some beautiful illustrations and meet some really cool animal friends. But before we get started, let's come into our crisscross applesauce asana. Sit up nice and tall. Think of having that string attached to the top of your head and somebody's pulling you up to the ceiling. Beautiful. And let's start with our ocean breath. So we'll bring our hands to our heart. And we're going to take a deep breath in as we reach our hands up above our head. And then deep breath out with an open mouth as we bring the hands down. So with me, here we go. Deep breath in. Let's do it one more time. I want you to think of hearing the ocean waves in your mind as you breathe out. Deep breath in. Let's do one more for good measure. Wonderful, friends. Go ahead, stay in your crisscross applesauce asana, and we'll go ahead and get started. So, The Great Kapok Tree by Lynn Cherry. So real quick, I wanted to show you this page because not only does it show you all the different animals of the Amazon, but it also shows you different areas in the world where there are rainforests. So all these green areas are considered rainforest. And we're headed today to one of the most famous ones, the Amazon rainforest here in South America. And last part of this picture I want to show you is the different layers of the rainforest. So up top we have the emergence, which is way up there. And then we have the canopy where a lot of different animals, birds, snakes, sloths hang out. And we have the middle layer where we have some more animals hanging out. Monkeys, looks like we have some more birds, lizards, butterflies, and then the shrub layer. And then way at the bottom is the herb layer. So that's where you would find the jaguars and the anteaters and the other different mammals, as well as many other different types of animals too. Okay, The Great Kapok Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest by Lynn Cherry. Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to a great kapok tree. Then he left. So we are going to start off today with tree pose. So let's go ahead. Remember, trees are strong and they have great root systems that help them stay up. So let's find our roots. Doesn't matter which foot we start on, but let's lift up our 5 roots. We put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roots down. Other foot comes into your kickstand. Then we can be a sapling with our hands on our heart, so a young tree. Maybe we're a tree with those really full leaves, or maybe we're a super tall tree, whichever you prefer, friends. Awesome. Bring the hands back to the heart, and then we'll switch sides. So other side, we pick up our 5 roots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them down. Other foot comes into our kickstand. On this side, I think I'm going to be a tree with really full leaves. Beautiful, friends. Maybe that kapok tree, it looks like it's a really, really tall one, so maybe before we move on, let's everybody be a really tall tree like that kapok tree. Reaching all the way up through all the layers of the rainforest. Beautiful, friends. And come back to your crisscross applesauce. Let me try to adjust our camera a little bit here. Sorry, friends, the glare is getting me today. The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard. Chop, chop, chop. The man wiped off the sweat that ran down his face and neck. Whack, chop, whack, chop. Soon the man grew tired. He sat down to rest at the foot of the great kapok tree. Before he knew it, the heat and hum of the forest had lulled him to sleep. Whew! Look at the size of that trunk. That would take a lot of work to cut down. All right, friends, so I would love for you to face the short edge of your mat, okay? And we want to start with those feet hip distance apart. So measure your feet, 2 fists together, bend your knees, bring those hands in between your feet so they're right off on the edge, and then we'll tuck the chin to roll on up. Now from here, we're gonna step 1 foot back into our warrior 2 pose. So your back toes are facing the long edge of your mat now. We're gonna bend your front knee, keep that back knee straight and strong. Beautiful, and then let's take up that axe. So remember, he starts chopping and goes whack, whack, whack. Whew, it's hard work though. Let's try on the other side. Step that other foot forward, feet are still hip distance apart. Step our other foot back. Our back toes point towards the long edge of your mat. Front knees bent, toes point forward. Take up that axe again, and we go. Chop, chop, chop. Whew. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of work, guys. Whew. This is one strong tree, I tell you what. A boa constrictor lived in the kapok tree. He slithered down its trunk to where the man was sleeping. He looked at the gash the axe had made in the tree. Then the huge snake slid very close to the man and hissed in his ear. Senor, this tree is a tree of miracles. It is my home where generations of my ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down. My goodness, look how big that snake is. Whoa. So, boa constrictors. We're going to come down onto our bellies. And we have a couple different ways that we can be our boa constrictors. First way, we can bring our forearms, our arms under us, so our shoulders stack on top of our elbows. And then we can lift our heart and gaze up, so we're looking straight forward, okay? So if you like this boa constrictor pose, you can stay right here. Maybe another option, if you want to give it a try, we'll come back down to the floor, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and from here we lift our chest, our belly, our gaze off of the floor, looking forward. And what does the snake say? That's right, so let's take a deep snake breath in. Beautiful, friends, and then we'll slowly lower down and come back to our crisscross applesauce asana. A bee buzzed in the sleeping man's ear. Senor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower, collecting pollen. In this way, I pollinate the trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. My goodness, so many beautiful butterflies. And then the little bee. All right, buzz, buzz, bumblebees. Let's come back down to the floor. This time, we're gonna come down onto our knees. Sit your hips on your heels, okay? And I want you to tuck your hands into your armpits. Let your forehead rest on the ground. So our arms are now our buzzing bumblebee wings. And what's a bumblebee say? Bzz, 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 bzz. So deep breath in. Bzz, 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 bzz. Again, deep breath in. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Wonderful. Bee pose, friends. Come back into your crisscross applesauce-asana. So many beautiful animals to meet here. A toucan, a macaw, and a cock of the rock flew down from the canopy. "Senor," squawked the toucan, "you must not cut down this tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain." Whoa, beautiful birds. The toucan, this is the toucan here, the macaw, and the cock of the rock. Can you believe this guy's just sleeping through all these animals talking to him? Oh, what a cool experience he's having. Okay, my beautiful birds of paradise, we are going to take flight. So, we have one foot down. We're going to lift the other foot up. Doesn't matter which one, but let's spread those wings and fly. Nice and smooth. We're not in a rush to get to anywhere today. It's a Saturday morning. We're just at home enjoying this wonderful day. Beautiful, friends. And let's set that foot down and switch sides. So now we lift the other knee up. Spread those wings and just take a nice relaxing flight around the canopy of the rainforest. Stop and talk to this gentleman who's hanging out in the middle of it. Great, friends. And back to our crisscross applesauce-asana. Beautiful birds of paradise. A bright and small tree frog crawled along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, he piped in the man's ear. "Senor, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives. Many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree." Wow, so cool. There's frogs of all different colors. Here we go, frog friends. We're going to start in our tabletop pose. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and let's step your left foot to the outside of your left pinky. Okay, so your foot is to the outside of your hand. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right foot to the outside of the right pinky. So hands are inside, feet are outside. And what does a frog say? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Great job, friends. Remember, stay on your mat with those frog hops. Ribbit, ribbit. Great job, tree frogs. Crisscross applesauce-asana. A jaguar had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because his spotted coat blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed him. Now he leapt down and padded silently over to the sleeping man. He growled in his ear. "Senor, the kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will I find my dinner?" Jaguars, are you ready? Here we go. We're going to come down onto our hands and knees again into that table pose. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's step one foot back, then the other. So now we're in our plank position. And jaguars, you're going to step one foot forward, get into the outside of your hand, so hands to the inside of the foot. And then we're going to pick up that hand and show me your jaguar. Roar, roar, roar. Good, friends. Set that hand down. Step your foot back, other side. Ready? We pick up that hand and we go. Beautiful. Step that foot back. Drop back to your knees and come into your crisscross applesauce asana. Four tree porcupines swung down from branch to branch and whispered to the man, "Senor, do you know what we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And Senor, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forest, you will destroy that which gives us all life." Tree porcupines. Awesome. Okay, friends. So we're going to come back down to our hands and knees again. This time, we're actually going to stay here in our table pose. So shoulders on top of wrists, hips on top of knees. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Deep breath out as you round through your spine and look back at your belly button. Deep breath in. Look up to the sky this time. Like you're taking a second to check the sky out and be like, what are you asking him what he's doing? Please don't cut down our tree. And breathe out. Look back at your belly button. 2 more times. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Last one. Deep breath in. Look forward, porcupines. Whisper in the man's ear. Deep breath out. Look back at your belly button. And then we'll come back to our table top pose and then into our crisscross applesauce asana. Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. The unstriped anteater said to the sleeping man, "Senor, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future. And surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends upon what you do today. The big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. He does not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees." Wise words from our anteater. So, did you notice those anteaters have some really long noses? Yeah, and they also have a really long tongue too, which I didn't know, but my nephew Will loves watching Wild Kratts, and he saw a show about anteaters, and I learned that they have really long tongues to get into the termite holes. At least the ones that live in Africa. I don't know about the South American anteaters, but I would guess they're probably pretty similar. So, friends, anteater friends, we are going to make those long noses that those anteaters have. And they've got those long tongues. And we're going to dive down, sniffing for those ants. And then maybe reach up, talk to the gentleman. "Please don't cut down our tree, sir." And then we look back down, smelling for those ants. Look up, talk to the man. One more time. Smell for those ants. And then reach up to speak to the man about the trees. Beautiful, friends. Crisscross applesauce asana. A three-toed sloth had begun climbing down from the canopy when the men first appeared. Only now did she reach the ground, plodding ever so slowly over to the sleeping man. She spoke in her deep and lazy voice. "Senor, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, On what would you feast your eyes? All right, sloths, this time we're going to come down and take a seat. So if you're already in your crisscross applesauce asana, you're halfway there. And I would love for you to think of sitting as tall as you can while we're here, okay? And then we're going to pick up one foot, then the other. Now, while our feet are in the sky, we're going to bring those feet together and slide your hands underneath your shins. Okay, so different view for you. One foot up, then the other one. You're kind of leaning back here, still sitting up tall. And then those sloths, they have really long, sharp claws, but they only have 3 of them. So can you show me 3 long claws? Great, friends. Awesome, three-toed sloths. And back to that crisscross applesauce asana. A child from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over the sleeping man. He murmured in his ear, "Senor, when you wake, please look upon us with new eyes." All right, all my kiddos, let's come into child's pose. This pose is just for you. We're going to come down on our knees. So you can keep your knees close together, or you can take them out as wide as your mat, whatever feels best in your body. Remember, yoga should feel good. So for me, it feels better to have my knees wide than close together. So once you get your knees set, we're going to reach both hands out in front of you and rest your forehead on your mat. So I want you to reach through your fingertips and back through your tailbone, trying to create as much length between the two as possible. And let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we'll slowly lift up, come back to your crisscross applesauce asana. The man awoke with a start. Before him stood the rainforest child, and all around him, staring, were the creatures who depended upon the great Kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were. So here we go. Here are all the friends that we met along the journey today. Even a couple more that we didn't get introduced to, but look how many diverse animals depend on one tree. Wow. But I can imagine for that guy, that would have been pretty scary to wake up and see all those animals and a kid watching you. What do you think? Yeah, I'd be a little surprised. So, we're going to come down onto our backs, friends. Reach your legs out in front of you, hands by your side. Close your eyes. Imagine that you've been taking a nice little snooze, having a nice dream of meeting all these animals, and then all of a sudden you wake with a start, and you look around, slowly to take it all in, seeing all the different animals around you. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna lay back down on your backs. Okay, so our eyes are closed. We're taking a nice little snooze. Then all of a sudden, whoa! Oh my goodness. Look at all these animals around. One more time, lay back down, friends. You're taking that nice little snooze. Then, oh my goodness. Look at all these beautiful animals around us. Stay in your crisscross applesauce asana, friends. The man looked about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright light glowed like jewels amidst the green, dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air. Suspended from the great Kapok tree, the man smelled the fragrant perfume of the flowers. He felt the steamy mist rising from the forest floor. But he heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. Wow. So friends, let's come back to, you guys are already in your crisscross applesauce asada, right? Awesome. So let's bring our hands into kind of a cup shape. I want you to imagine that you're holding one of those rainforest flowers. You're surrounded by beautiful greenery, beautiful trees and plants, and there's beautiful animals around you. And you have a flower in your hand, and you take a deep breath in, taking it all in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, smell the flower. Deep breath out. Let's do that 2 more times, friends. Taking it all in, take a deep breath of that flower. Deep breath out. Last time, smell that flower. Deep breath out. I wonder what this guy's gonna do now that he's really taking in the beauty around him. The man stood and picked up his axe. He swung back his arm as though to strike the tree. Suddenly, he stopped. He turned and looked at the animals and the child. Okay, crisscross applesauce asada, friends. So I want you to reach your hands out in front of you, and you're gonna put your pinky, ring, and middle finger down. So you have your pointer finger and your thumb still up, okay? And you'll notice we've created 2 L's. Now I want you to take a look at those L's, and the one that is the correct facing L is your left hand, okay? So I want you to reach your left hand up above your head and bring it across your body and send it on your right knee. So you've got like a slash through your body with that arm. And then with your right hand, we're gonna reach it up and take it behind your back. Sit up as tall as you can, deep breath in. Deep breath out, look over your right shoulder behind you, like you're the man looking back at the child and the animals. Good, friends. And then let's reach those arms up. Our backwards L is our right hand. We bring that one across the body now. Left hand comes behind you. Sit up tall, deep breath in, deep breath out. Take another second looking at the man and the child behind you. And we'll take a deep breath in and bring it back to our crisscross applesauce asana. The suspense is building. He hesitated. Then he dropped the axe and walked out of the forest. How wonderful. All those animals saved their home. And the child too. They were all an integral part. So when I first told you guys and your parents about this book, I told you it had a really good take-home message. So I'm going to give you a second to think about what the author was trying to tell us when she wrote this book. What do you think, friends? My idea is that I think she's trying to tell us that even a single tree is really important for the forest. And so many living things depend on just one tree. And as humans, we might just think, oh, it's just one tree. How important could it be? But all those animals depend on that one tree. And sadly, a lot of our rainforest is being cut down and burned down for different things. And so it's really important that we speak up for these animals and the indigenous people who live there, whose homes are being destroyed, and we help protect them, because once they're gone, we won't be able to get them back, which is really sad to think about. But we can all do our part to help save the rainforest and help those animals save their home. So there is hope. It's sad, but there's hope. We can do things about it, so don't get discouraged. Okay, friends, before we go, we are going to finish with Boa Constrictor breath. Are you ready? Do you remember our Boa Constrictor pose? We're going to come down into our bellies. So you can be a little cobra, where your elbows are under your shoulders and you lift your heart up. So this is our baby Boa Constrictor. Or if you want to be a king Boa Constrictor, you can bring your hands under your shoulders, lift your chest up, look in front of you. And what does the snake say again? Oh yeah, it says hiss, right? So we'll take a deep breath in. And good, friends. Let's do that 3 more times. One more time, friends. This time, can you see how long you can hold your hiss? Can you get a little more? Great, and slowly lower down. Maybe we held that cobra pose for a while, friends, so maybe we press back into our child's pose for just a second. Reach through your fingertips, sit your hips back on your heels. Whoa. Beautiful. And on your next inhale, let's come back to our crisscross applesauce asana. Bring your hands to your heart. Close those eyes for just one more moment, friends. And I want you to think of all those beautiful animals that we met. How important even a single tree is to the rainforest. And maybe think about a couple ways that you can help the rainforest. Thank you all for joining me, friends. It was wonderful visiting the great Kapok tree with you. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Namaste. Thank you so much, friends. I hope you love the great Kapok tree as much as I do. I think the pictures are beautiful, the animals are so fun, and it's a good reminder for us about taking care of the rainforest. Have a great rest of your Saturday, friends. I will be back next week at 9:30 a.m., same time. I'll let you know sometime this week what book we're reading, because even I don't know right now. But don't worry, it'll be fun, and you're going to love it, I promise. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Saturday. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'll see you next time. Oh, love you too, gals. Thanks for joining. Bye, guys. You're welcome, Will.